With an average wingspan of more than 6 feet, the bald eagle would be hard to miss. And yet, in Vermont, sightings of the eagle have been very few. Only recently have there been successful nesting pairs documented here in Vermont.
The last eagle was documented in Vermont on Lake Bomazeen in the mid-40s. So we're looking at about 70 years since eagles have been in this state. That's a couple of generations. So there's human lifespans that haven't been around eagles.
In 1973, the bald eagle was put on the Federal Endangered Species List, and although it was delisted in 2007, the state of Vermont still recognizes the bald eagle as endangered.
Eagles have a long history in Vermont and in the United States, of course. They're our national bird. They are a native species of Vermont and really suffered a great decline like a lot of birds of prey did during the mid-20th century, in large part due to the prevalence of the pesticide DDT, which caused eggshell thinning and nest failure, ultimately. They have made a tremendous comeback throughout the United States and especially along the Atlantic coast. Vermont has been one of the last parts of the Northeast to see eagles in great numbers, but we are catching up quickly.
When it comes to finding an eagle in Vermont, go to where there's water. To the east, the Connecticut River provides ideal habitat, and to the west, there's all of Lake Champlain.
So we're looking at this habitat as a great spot for eagles, right?
This would be a really excellent place to start looking. We've got the proximity of the water body with a good source of food in it, and then you've got a host of pine trees, which appear to be one of the favorite nesting spots for bald eagles in Vermont. The majority of the nests that we know about in the state are located in very large pine trees. Eagles are looking for big, stout trees that can support this massive nest that they're going to build over a long period of time.
Bald eagle nests, on average, are 5 feet in diameter and about 3 feet tall. Because eagles will add to their nest each year, they can grow to be as big as 9 feet in diameter and weigh up to 2 tons.
How would I find a nest or look for an eagle along here? How would I train my eye?
They're not going to be out at the edge of the tree like a small bird might be. So they're going to be back in towards the trunk of the tree, and there you have it. With a pine tree, it's really hard to see. So you need to look for that pattern that's different from the green, first of all. With your naked eye, kind of just scan that for a few minutes, and then take your field glasses, and then just slowly scope in great detail, looking again for that same change in pattern of the green and brown, because your search image is really in your mind is looking for this dark-bodied big bird with a white head, and perhaps you'll see its tail as well. So you'll see this contrast of dark and light against the green. It would be very hard for us to be this close to an eagle. They'd see us a long ways away. I've had them give me warning sounds, 300 yards away, in a wide open view. If you have some cover and you can sneak in, sometimes you can get a little bit closer, but I would advise people to stay at least 300 feet, 100 yards away, and be very, very discreet. And if you can, be much farther away. Enjoy eagles with your field glasses rather than the naked eye, just because they are very sensitive to human presence, especially during the nesting season.
The team heads to the Missisquoi National Wildlife Refuge at the northern end of Lake Champlain. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Officer Eddie Edwards navigates the channels of the Missisquoi River Delta, watching for eagles along the way. They spot something in the tree line and head in for a closer look. It's an immature bald eagle. The dark head and tail on this bird tells us this is a youngster. It's being chased by other birds that are defending their own nesting area. By the time this eagle is 5 years old, it will have matured into the white head, dark body, and white tail of an adult bald eagle. Now it's off to a more secluded part of the wildlife refuge. Here, they'll witness what biologists have been working to restore in Vermont for more than 10 years.
Why this is an ideal spot for where this pair has picked this spot is because it's really in the heart of an area where there's not a lot of human disturbance, and it seems like Mother Nature always kind of figures that out. And eagles are pretty sensitive around humans, and so they're going to find a place like this that's out of the way, and there's not a lot of disturbance, and that's why they set up shop here. 2 babies in this nest. We can see anywhere from 1 to 3, but typically 2 is what we expect to see.
And these guys are pretty well far along. They don't have that fuzzy, downy set of feathers.
Right. They should probably fledge within the next week to 10 days is what we're estimating on this pair.
Wow.
In 2004, Vermont began the Bald Eagle Recovery Initiative in the Lake Champlain region, and careful monitoring of nesting bald eagles continues to this day. Later, in 2008, Vermont documented its first successful nesting pair in northeastern Vermont. Now, the goal for Vermont Fish and Wildlife officials is to have an average of 14 nesting pairs in order to remove the bald eagle from Vermont's endangered species list.
Vermont spent a lot of time and money in this effort, and it's now they're starting to see the rewards of that hard work.
Wildlife officials say that private citizens play a major role in finding, reporting, and protecting nesting bald eagles.
Over 90% of the nests that are in Vermont today have been discovered by private citizens with just an enthusiast attitude towards eagle conservation. Habitat conservation and recognition that the birds hold a special place in our natural environment. People are really, really excited about seeing bald eagles return to the state and do well. Any knowledge that we can have in this early stage of restoration would be greatly appreciated, and it will help conserve the eagles for the long term.
Now that you know the bald eagle story, what do you think you can do?